Northern California visits Southern California. The Niners and Chargers. Off we go from L.A. Returning from his end zone is Ray McCloud. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. Leading them out, Trey Lance, now in his second season out of North Dakota State.
In recent years, we've seen a lot of love for North Dakota State in the NFL draft. And Trey Lance, he's a great example of what the Bison are sending to the league each and every year. This guy looks like a franchise quarterback. He wants his opportunity to prove it to the rest of the league.
And he'll get about 6 up to the 27-yard line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
3rd down. Here's McCaffrey. And he's brought down short. 2 yards there. Needed 4. Here we go with McCaffrey. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a 1st down. Just a gain of 3, but they'll certainly take it as they convert on 4th down. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. To throw, it's Lance. He's going to drop this down to McCaffrey. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. They'll wind up getting just a yard. And it's 2nd down. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
To throw again on 2nd down. Lance. And looking for Kittle, but it's intercepted. Picked up by J.C. Jackson. And the Chargers are going to take possession of the football. Offensively, a far from ideal start there with a pick on the opening drive.
Yeah, not exactly what they were looking for. We know that. That's pretty obvious. The beauty, though, is it's happening early. If they don't panic, they don't compound this problem, they've got a long way to go and a chance to get back in it.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's 1st sack of the game. And they get to him right out of the gate. And this defense hoping that that's a harbinger of things to come.
Yeah, when you give up a first-play sack, makes your quarterback wonder if he's going to go to the sidelines and talk with his offense coordinator and head coach and say, hey, you know that game plan we put together? We might need to change it right now.
And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. Here's the first carry for Austin Eckler. And he's brought down short. 2 yards there. Needed 4. On 4th down, Herbert. He's going to have his running back. It's complete. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
We always talk about big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments. I think that 4th down qualified. That was a heck of a throw.
On 1st and 10, Herbert. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up 2nd. They'll make that a 2nd sack here on their first drive out defensively, and not to get ahead of ourselves, but they're on pace for double-digit sacks at this point.
Well, they're going to have to find a way to tamp that down, aren't they? So if you're the play caller, you're telling your quarterback maybe some screens, maybe some draws, hard count, use your voice inflection a little bit, anything to try and slow that pressure down.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. I was pretty surprised there when they lined up to run it on 2nd and long, but it worked out for them.
It certainly did, and that requires some confidence, some fortitude, and a little bit of hope, doesn't it? You hope you catch the defense just right and break off a big run to help yourself out on the next down.
Going to throw on third down with Herbert. That's going to be complete to his tight end, Everett. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 13-yard line. The Chargers passing game rolling a bit here. They've got another first. No score after one on EA Sports. Charger football to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Herbert operating from the red zone. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
They made a nice effort to stick him at a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Herbert. And he's got it. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Herbert on 3rd down now. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. It was Eric Armstead fighting his way through that time to record the sack. The Chargers will bring out the field goal unit now from the right hash, and this one just a chipping. And this one is right through. And the Chargers grab themselves a 3-0 lead. Well, it's not the touchdown that they wanted, CD, but still, they got to be pretty happy here. You steal the ball away from them on their opening possession, and you turn that into the early 3-0 lead.
Yeah, you painted the picture perfectly there. All the things that have gone on. And the important thing, other than the lead, of course, is as you described, both sides of the ball now have some momentum.
Here's McLeod from his end zone. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. Back out there comes the 49ers offense ready for their 2nd drive. Now, the first time out, they had the interception. That stopped their drive 3 points the other way, so now they work from behind.
They do, but he's got to walk out on the field like he's working from ahead. All right, he's got to walk out like, hey, I just threw a touchdown pass because all eyes on his team are on him. They gain their confidence from the way he reacts, his demeanor, and how he plays. He's got to show that he has confidence in himself.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Taking a shot for Samuel. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
And this drive is almost over before it began, thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on 1st down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety.
The goal here is about getting any kind of positive yardage in this spot because you don't care who, you don't care how. You just want to try and buy a little space and get away from your own end zone. But in this spot, the defense was all over that play and equally motivated to stick them with a safety.
Pulled in at the 24. The Chargers get set to go here for their 2nd drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
They started on the ground with Eckler. Up past the 30, 2nd down coming up. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. This is a counter play. Eckler. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a first. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. They'll fake the handoff. Now Herbert. He sets to fire deep. This is intercepted. picked up by Talanoa Hufanga. And the 49ers are going to take possession of the football. So they tried to take the deep shot there, but this defense up to the task.
And a lot of times when you air a ball out like this, if it does get intercepted, there's going to be a lot of space out there to set up a return. And remember, you've got 5 big offensive linemen out there playing on their feet in open space. Not a skill most of them possess.
And looking for Kittle, but it's intercepted. And now the rookie's free. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Charger TD. Now there's a reason they call him a ball-hawking safety. It looked like he read that, Charles, and he wasn't stopping there. After he got it, he took it all the way to the house to widen their lead.
And what's interesting to me, Brandon, is that our spotter, Bruce Murray, right before that snap, pointed to his number on my play sheet. Got to see him a little bit as a ball-hawking return man that time, didn't we? That's just the type of play to expect from him, and he delivers in a big way. Nice call, Bruce.
Here's McLeod from his end zone. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The road ahead a little bit more difficult now after that pick 6. So dealing with his deficit here, we'll see if he can try to make amends on this drive. 1st and 10. Lance and the 49ers now. 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Lance going back to the air after the pick 6. That's caught. He finds Danny Gray. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
Here we go.
On play action, Lance rolling to his left. And this one too low.
Martin, I think he's got to be careful as he continues to try to extend plays because he's already been intercepted in this game. And the coverage, they continue to challenge all of his receivers downfield.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Lance. Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. Now Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
It's a 4-yard return following a punt of 49. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. Now the LA offense ready for this next possession. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
Throwing left side, it's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Running on 1st down, Eckler. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. It's intercepted. Picked off by Fred Warner. And the Niners will take over here at their own 14-yard line. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Here's Lance. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. After that last run, Lance is going to throw it here. Winds up and lets it go for Samuel. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. A final shot before half for Lance. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. Well, no sooner did the teams get to the locker rooms, and they're running right back out. Halftime over, third quarter, ready to go. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. So the Chargers will start the second half with the lead and the football as we're underway in the third quarter. Take it in at the 3. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Chargers getting ready to go here to start this third quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
The throw over the middle, taken in. And they're going to get this down to inside the 15.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Now a toss, running left, Eckler. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
Meanwhile, Herbert's throw going into the hands of Williams. And after the broken tackle, couldn't get free for much space, taken down right at the 10. So the completion good for 6 yards. And that's going to lead to a third down. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Back to throw here, Herbert. And that will be incomplete.
What an excellent defensive stand there in the red zone. Nice tight coverage. They certainly recognized how important it was to bring up fourth down here.
And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, they picked up right where they left off in the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether it's 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get Keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
Here's McLeod from his end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
Third quarter now from SoFi Stadium. Here's a 2nd and 10. Lance going to throw. This will be caught. It's Samuel. And they're able to get this one across the 35. On first down, Lance. He'll fire this deep for Ayuk. Now Lance throws the interception, his third. Derwin James with a pick. And the Chargers are going to take possession of the football. So that changes things. You get the interception, and then to boot, a good return tacked on.
And really it was down to him versus the quarterback on the return, and that's one you would think the defender would win. But a nice job there of seeing the play all the way to the end and making the tackle by the QB.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Well, they certainly knew their challenge as this series began, and they got to stop on play number 1. Goal now, get 2 more stops and limit the damage to a field goal.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Here's Herbert. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Dre Greenlaw getting home on that one.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
I don't know how many times, not just in my playing career, but you and I working together, have we ever heard a coach say, you know, I just don't have that play on my call sheet. And that's really what we had here. That was a big hole they were trying to get out of.
Yeah, big gain, still a ways to go, though. For Keenan Allen, that's complete. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Some collective exhales over there on the sideline. A big pickup through the air on 4th down to bring up 1st and goal. Here's Herbert. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Not the 1st and goal play they drew up. Multiple defenders in to bring him down to the ground.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Over the middle, and it's caught. Keenan Allen. Really nice gain on the completion. However, still 3rd and goal that they face now. Out of the gun, Herbert. And he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. Justin Herbert, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Chargers will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. And his kick is good, and flags fly as well. Some frustration showing through right now. This is going to be a roughing call. And they'll accept that penalty. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. Taken at the goal line. And they're going to start in a hole as he's brought down at the 11. San Francisco set to go on offense once more. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
So the completion good for 7 there, and it's second down. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. Back now at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. It's 49er football, but some ground to cover. They find themselves behind as we hit the 4th and final quarter. Throwing again on second down. Lance. That's caught. It's McCaffrey again. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. A gain of 10 and a 49er first down. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss and no one wants anything.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. And the Chargers are going to take possession of the football. That interception may be the exclamation mark on what really all around has been a good performance.
A fantastic performance. They will enjoy film session. Their grade should be very good on this one. And I think the next time the offense gets the ball, I just think about running it and getting the clock done and getting the heck out of here.
And by the way, semantics here, but before the grammar police come after me, I think it's exclamation points, not mark, right?
You're asking me? Seriously?
Yeah, you're smarter than me. Everybody knows that.
Listen, I go with what you say, my man.
28 yards the gain there on the catch and run. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Now it's Herbert. Got a man. It's Allen for the Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Chargers have opened up a 4-touchdown lead here in the 4th. Extra point right down the middle. And that'll push the lead up to 29 now. The kick unit on here for the Chargers as they will send this one away. Here's McLeod from his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. San Francisco's offense returns to the field. At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the 4th quarter, facing the big deficit. Just what silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like 1 possession left and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me that.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. And the Chargers are going to take possession of the football. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. On 2nd and goal, Herbert. Touchdown! Excellent work there to get in on the touchdown run. And the Chargers have sewn this one up as they add to their lead here in the 4th. Point after, right down the middle. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Here's McLeod from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The 49ers settling in for their next drive. Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the fourth quarter. And they're just trying to erase that zero on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film section tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mentioned in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while. But everyone on that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
Throwing on first down is Lance. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Lance looking to throw it. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout that's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem.
And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. Joey Bosa, who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon. A CD, you know, so often we talk about quarterbacks holding on to the ball too long. Well, we can't say that there. He had no time to do much of anything. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. Desperation time here. Lance. Able to haul it in is Kittle. And he is going to have the Niners first down on what will be a big play there on 4th and long. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
At this stage, there's nothing left to do but to keep firing, and if you're a play caller, you may go off your sheet and use some things maybe you hadn't planned to in this game. Maybe that was one of them there that worked. This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him, but after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Up the gut, McCaffrey. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Now on 4th down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Charger defense stands tall and they get the football back. The Charger drive about to get going. They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. He's got a man, complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They're going to pass here with Herbert. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Up big here in the fourth quarter, up really big. That pass That's an incompletion. I don't think they needed the completion, but, Charles, this is an offense right now that they're just having fun. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't need a completion. They certainly don't need any more points. But they're not going to turn them down. They're going to continue to run what they have in their playbook, and they still want to run it efficiently.
Herbert throwing again. Out to his left. And just not enough on the throw there. Down around his feet and incomplete. Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles, but that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach. And maybe you and I should attend that press conference and see what he has to say, because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess, he didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier. He wanted to use that as a chance to clean things up. But he certainly will have some explaining to do.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
Partner, in the sportsmanship handbook, there's something to be said for calling the dogs off in a blowout. But these defenders, they also know this is the NFL, and it's their job to stop them, whether they're in the game or they're down by a handful of touchdowns.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, this is long since over, and some might see this as overkill, but remember, this is a team that puts on the hard hats, grabs the lunch pail, and tells everyone, we're going to give you a full 60 minutes. And that's exactly how they're playing this one out.
Extra point splits the uprights. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. And the 49er hands team does its job. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number.
And now here's another interception. Picked up by J.C. Jackson. And the Chargers are going to take possession here as they've got it at their own 4-yard line. The Charger drive about to get going. They came into this one with a vision, Charles, and it has played out exactly as they had hoped, if not even better. They've got the huge lead here, and now the football for the final moments of the 4th.
Yeah, and it was apparent that they were the better team.
There he goes, left side. And he takes it in for the score on the game's final play, so it doesn't affect the outcome. Put a little whipped cream on top to their ending.
Or as our friends in Bayou Country would say, that's a little land, yeah, a little extra on top.
So not just a blowout win for them today, Charles, but a shutout blowout win as well. Clearly just a superior effort on both sides of the ball.
Hey, didn't it feel like you get a touchdown, you get a touchdown, then the defense jumped up and said, hold it, we're getting involved as well. You're exactly right. Big points, both sides contributing, a full team win.